everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a kind of chatty get ready. I'm getting ready for work, so I don't have makeup like pretty much from here down. It's just, you know, the top half of my face because I wear a mask when I'm at work all day and then I come home and go to bed. So the only time I really do my full face is if I'm filming like a tutorial or like Mike and I are going to go out to dinner and my mask is going to be off. But anyways, it's mostly products that I've been using. I do have the e.l.f. CC cream. I was sent this, but I've been using it. I've been liking it. It was one of those things I was going to buy it anyway, so it was nice that I got to try it. And then a lovely subscriber friend, Brenda, sent me this in a big box of makeup a while ago, and I'm going to try it in the video. Spoiler, I do like it, but yeah, I love their liners, especially their neon ones. So I've been wanting to try this. It's got a really pretty color story right up my alley. The little plastic insert I had to throw away, and that's what has the shade names, but it's not like a dedicated tutorial, but let me know if you want to see a dedicated tutorial. But yeah, so it's just going to be a chatty get ready. I didn't do my liner lashes on camera. These are just my Allure 3/4. These are like the easiest lashes in the world to put on. You can get them on Amazon. I'll just say it really quick because I don't talk about it in the video, but you can get them on Amazon. The natural 3/4 length, the easiest ones to put on. They stop about here so they don't come all the way over. So if you're somebody that struggles with lashes, these are going to be ones to try. Anyways, that's enough rambling. So if you want to sit and get ready with me, then just keep on watching. Make sure you're subscribed. I'm going to fix my hair later because I don't have to be to work for a while. So yeah, but thank you guys so much for being here. And yeah, let's get ready together. So I haven't done anything yet. We'll just go through how I normally like do my makeup for work. And I apologize if you can hear squeaking in the background. My dog is playing with a toy in the living room and you can hear her through the baby monitor. But I pretty much only put makeup on like this chunk of my face because I have to wear a mask when I'm there all day. So I don't generally put makeup from here down unless like Mike and I are going out to eat and I know I'm going to be in a setting where I'm going to have my mask off in public. Otherwise, like my family doesn't care if there's no makeup on this lower half. So to start off, like I'm really lazy about washing my face in the morning. So I have these Rooted Beauty sensitive facial towels. Like they have aloe and chamomile. I use Grove. So I got them through Grove as like a free gift. And I actually like these. They just make my face feel a little cleaner without, like I said, me being too lazy to go wash it. So I just use one of these before I put my makeup on. And I actually did get a second pack there. I think the brand that sold at like Target and Walmart, and they're like coconut scented. So we'll try those. And then if I don't like them as well, I'll get a pack of these. I had them and I wasn't using them for anything, and I didn't want to not use them since I had them, because I know wipes are not like the most eco-friendly thing ever, although these are natural, so they're a little bit more biodegradable friendly, at least. And I just let that dry, and then we'll go in and just do moisturizer and all that. And we'll start off with eye cream. I've been using two. I do like this Pure Lease one. It's just, this is the Blue Lotus 4-in-1. It says it hydrates, firms, and brightens. I do like this one. I don't think it's quite as hydrating as my Mary Kay, the Time Wise one. So I just use them together because my under eyes are so dry. I feel like it's not, the extra moisture isn't going to hurt. And today's probably worse because, again, I was being lazy and I didn't put any of my skincare on before bed. That helps if I remember to at least put my eye cream on, because then my under eyes are not quite as dry. But I forgot to say, I think today is February 8th, so it's a Tuesday. I do have work, obviously, today, so that's why we're only doing makeup on like a third of my face. And I haven't done a get ready in a long time. And then I'm going to use the Gold Faden Brightening Elixir. I got this in probably an Ipsy. I had their eye cream, it was in a very similar bottle. It was an eye, I don't know if it was a serum or a cream. It was for the under eye. And there's people that like rave about it, and it's really like to help their dark circles. It never did much for mine, but mine are really, really bad. So it's a really expensive brand, I guess. But yeah, I used their eye cream up, and like I said, it never, and even this, I don't know if this is, it says it's a brightening elixir. I don't know if this is really like doing anything, but I have it. So I've been using it, and then I've been going in with just a little bit of the Glow Ahead Illuminating Face Oil from Wander Beauty, just because I have it. And again, if I have it and it's open, I might as well use it. I just like to put these on and under my moisturizer is like a serum step. Okay. And then I'm going to go in with my Avant, the Hyaluronic Vitamin C moisturizer. I actually really, really like this. I had this in the bathroom and was going to use it as my nighttime moisturizer, but I really, really like how light it is. And it is very hydrating, so I moved it over and I put the moisturizer that I had in here for daytime. I just swapped them. I think I had my Marc Jacobs Youthquake one for daytime, and I do like that one too, so I just swapped them. I actually have a second tube of this. I ended up getting it in 2 different subscription boxes, so I was annoyed when I first got both of them before I had tried it, but since I do like it, I'm glad I have a second tube. And then Tribe had an add-on where there's like an illuminating version of this, so I bought that as an add-on, and then I'll use that for daytime when this one runs out, so that other one I'll have it longer, because this is like $123. Now it looks really cheap because it's in a squeezy tube. When you buy it from the company, it comes in a glass jar. For the subscription boxes, they put it in a squeezy tube, and I believe it's the same size. It's just not in the glass jar. And I know that upsets people because you're retailing it at a certain price, but it's not in the packaging that it would normally retail for that. So it's one of those, like, goes back to that where subscription boxes will inflate the prices of stuff to make it seem like you're getting a better value in the box. But my skin's been very, very dry, so I'm going to go in with a little bit of the Bobbi Brown. This is just a little sample size of the Vitamin Enriched Face Base, and this is just has a nice smell. It's just an expensive moisturizer is what it is, but again, it does work really good. It's got a very light citrus smell to it, so we're going to put a little bit of this on too, just because the last few days I have not been doing my nighttime skincare. I was doing really, really good the last month. I've been starting to get facials, so I have one. Today's Tuesday. I have one scheduled for Thursday, so that'll definitely help. But it definitely helps prolong like the benefits of the facial when you are doing your skincare, because my skin felt really good for several weeks because I was washing it regularly and putting all my stuff on day and night. And I think because my appointment was coming up, I was like, oh, I could be lazy for a couple of days. It'll be okay. Which I shouldn't be, but so for primers, I've been using my Urban Decay Optical Illusion Complex. This is one of the best pore filling primers. Like, it's better than the Benefit one. If you want a really good smoothing, it's pore perfect. Like, this is a really, really good one, and it lasts forever. And then I put the Becca Backlight Priming Filter on top of it because I do like having a glow. I don't have to use very much when I have work. One little pump, because I'm only putting it obviously on my forehead. Now when I'm, and then I put some right here, because again, that's all you see. Now when I'm doing my full face, then obviously I have to do a second pump because I got to take it down here. But when I go to work, it's just the one little pump. So it's gonna, this is one of those products I got as a sample, I think in a Sephora play box. And then it made me want to buy the full size. And I'm pretty sure I did a video on samples that made me, and then again, one little pump. Samples that made me buy the full size. And these two just layer really well on top of each other, thankfully. And again, if I was doing my full face, I would have to use a little more, but because I don't have to, this is about like, it's hard to tell, about halfway. So I am going to have to repurchase. I'm going to try and get it through Poshmark just because it's in a little like tube and it's sealed. Because I do really, really like this, but this is an expensive product. So I'll see if I can get it. Pretty sure I bought that through Poshmark the first time. So I'm going to have to try and get a new one when that runs out. Okay, so that's all I've been doing for primer. I really, really like the combo. And then for foundation, I've been using this e.l.f. the CC cream. I got sent this through Influencer, and I've been liking it. And it's a product I was going to buy anyway. Like I was thinking about buying it anyway, but it was nice that I did get sent this. I'm in the shade Light 240W, and it is a pretty good color match for me. I'm going to go wet my sponge. Okay. And this, it says it's full coverage, and it is full coverage. Like I've seen people, especially on TikTok, like really do a lot of blobs and like really like, it's not a foundation. So it's not really meant to be worn like that. It's supposed to be like your skin, but better, because you have tinted moisturizers and then you have BB creams, which are a little more coverage, usually a little bit of SPF, and then like the CC creams are in that spectrum, fullest coverage. Like this is SPF 30. It's got some collagen and peptides, so you can get some skincare in it, but it's not a foundation. It's not meant to be worn like a foundation. It's supposed, you're still supposed to see your skin. Now, granted, it's makeup, and if you want to build it up and wear it as a full coverage foundation, you can, but that's not really. So I just do one little pump. It is very pigmented. So I try and not go too crazy with it. So I just start off with one little pump, and then if I need to add more, I can add more. I don't need a ton of coverage, honestly, especially with the mask. I'm really just trying to even out my skin tone. But it is a good product. I like it. I've been using it. Like I said, I was going to buy it anyway, and then I found out it was being sent, so then I just didn't buy it myself. But I did get a good, thankfully, a good shade scent, because that's also an issue when you get stuff. It's going to be the right color. So you can kind of see where the product is. I try to blend it down just a little bit, just so it's not like a line. But yes, it is pigmented. I don't necessarily think I need to do more. Sometimes I do a little bit more than that. And then when I'm doing my whole face, I'll do 2 pumps and just spread it around. But again, it's CC creams, I feel like, are in the tinted moisturizer family. So it's not meant to be like a full coverage foundation. And generally, like if you have a lot of fine lines or wrinkles, a CC cream is going to wear better than a foundation. So they're better for mature skin. One of my favorite ones is from Hey Honey. It's the Trick or Treat CC2 Active Moisturizing Cream with honey and propolis. This one's very pigmented. It says it's for light to medium skin tones. They only have one shade. I am able to make this work, but you need the smallest amount because it is pigmented. And if I use too much, like it it's obvious that it's a little bit dark. But if you can make this shade work, it's really, really good. Like, it's expensive, but like this is good until 2022, and I've already had it for like years. So it's a good one. It's pigmented. You don't need very much. And then I do have the Pure 4-in-1 Tinted Moisturizer, and I really, really like this. I got this through Boxy Pop-Up because I didn't get it in my base box, but I do really like this, and I'm in the shade LG3. And this is a nice, because again, I don't need a lot of coverage, especially when I'm going to work, because I do use powder and concealer. So it's just nice to have a little bit less. It just evens me out without making me look like heavy and cakey. And I've been using the e.l.f. one even when I'm doing my full face, just because I don't need, I like how it wears, and I don't use a lot, so it's not heavy on my skin. I'm just using my Pixie Brightening Corrector. I had a hard time finding this when I repurchased it because I ran out. I really hope that Pixie is not planning on discontinuing this, because they used to have 2 shades. This is in the Brightening Peach, and they used to have one that was a little bit darker. When I bought this, this was the only one, and my Target didn't have very many. They only had 2, and it was at the bottom and the back, and so it makes me nervous that Pixie is thinking about discontinuing this. I should probably find out, and then if they are, go and buy another one just so I have it sealed, because I do really like that. And then I've been using the shade Light. I was using Light Medium before, but this is the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Concealer Stick. So I just take a little bit on my brush and I just tap it over where we put the color corrector, because we want to conceal before we brighten, because if you don't, then you can still have the dark circles poking through. And then sometimes I get a little bit more redness right in here. So I'll just tap a little bit extra. And then when I'm doing hey, girls, no, my dogs are over here. When I'm doing a full face, I'll usually put a little bit around my nose. I'm going to go put them outside. They seem like they've settled down. If not, I'll go put them outside. And then I go in with my, I think, who makes this? The Age Rewind. Is this from Maybelline? Yeah, the Maybelline Age Rewind. Mine got a little bit gross. We went up to Flagstaff, and there's an elevation change, obviously, and so I cleaned the cap out once. It had like oozed out from the altitude change. So I just do a little bit on my forehead. Again, if I was doing my full face, I would put a little bit on my chin, a little bit around my nose, but we don't need to do that because, again, I'm going to work. So I just tap it out with a brush. And this is a Morphe brush that I've had forever. I used to do the Morphe and Me subscription years ago because I was trying to build up my brush collection, which it's really good. That subscription still exists. I know they had problems where some of their customers' cards were compromised, and that was a whole scandal. The subscription still exists, and I think they've worked out those issues. I don't have it anymore just because I don't need like brushes that I'm not picking, if that makes sense. Because that's the only bad thing with it. You don't pick like if they're eye or face or which ones come, because I have too many brushes. But I never had a problem with my card being compromised. I know there was people that did. I did follow a channel whose card unfortunately was, but I think that was years ago, so I think they worked out those issues. Anyways, it is a good service if you're trying to build your collection. So I'm just going to use this e.l.f. under eye setting powder. This is probably the second or third one of this that I bought. They still sell this. I'm just trying to use this up because I've had this one forever and I wasn't using it. So I'm just taking it on the little Jeffree Star and Morphe brush. This, I think, was supposed to be a concealer brush. I don't really like it for blending out concealer. It's not dense enough for me, but I do like it for like this. I use it for setting powder, like under my eyes, and then I'll usually take it wherever I've done concealer, which normally would be here and here, but yeah, I've just been trying to use this up to get it out of the drawer. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit of the ColourPop translucent powder. Oh, loose powder is so messy. Okay, so just, again, same brush. Go in with just a little bit more. And then I'll just smooth it out on where my makeup is on my nose. I went back and forth whether or not I liked this powder. I do like it. I don't think it's necessarily the best value for the amount that you get. It does last a decent amount of time for me, but that's mainly because I have other powders, so I don't use this every single day. I think if you were using it every single day and this was your only one, because it's 8.5 grams, it's $9, so it's not expensive, but you're not getting a huge amount. Considering the Coty Airspun at Walmart is 2.3 ounces, and this is only $5. So while it's not a bad price per se, I think it's a little pricey for the amount of product that you get. And I'm just going to go in with the Bye Bye Pores pressed powder. This I think I got in my last Ipsy, so it's just a sample. I'll use different pressed powders. I have my Mary Kay one that I like, and I'll just set the rest of my face. And I just try to make sure that the line is kind of smoothed out. That way if my mask is off, I at least don't look crazy. Okay, so I'm going to just do my brows off camera. That's not very exciting, and then we'll jump into the rest. I feel like eyebrows are not super exciting. I don't always use the same. I switch it up between my Benefit and like I used ColourPop today and my brow cushion. Let me know. I had some requests a while ago for a brow tutorial. Let me know if you want to see that because I do use like 3 different products. I have to overdraw my eyebrows because mine are very thin naturally. So let me know if anybody is still interested in that and I can do that. It's just hard for me to do them on camera. Okay, so then, and I did do 1 layer of setting spray just to set this, and then after I do my bronzer and stuff, I'll go in and do another layer. But for contour, I'm just going to use my Tarte. This is in the shade Farmer's Market. This is from the Hamptons Weekender Little Trio. I really, really like this. I've had this for a while. I've talked about this product before. Tarte is one of those where I have had some of their face stuff and it's like hit and miss. I do really, really like this one a lot. So this is one that as long as it's available, I could see repurchasing when I use it up. And this is a product I got in one of those like Tarte make your own kit sets. And it was unfortunate because I got a blush and highlighter duo, and the highlighter in that one like stunk, but this one's really good. It's a really good little, I usually take this traveling with me if I go anywhere just because I have a good blush. The blush in here is really good. The highlighter in here is nice. So I take the contour on my cheeks a little bit, but that's as far. Obviously I don't do nose contour because you can't see it. Sometimes I'll take a little bit on my jaw just to use the extra product, but it's not necessary. And I'll just use what's in this set. Okay, let me get a highlighter brush out, and then I need to get a bronzer. So I think this is sitting on top, so I'm just going to use Regal as my bronzer. I like to go in with a matte contour and then a shimmery bronzer to blend it out. If you're new, that's just the way I like doing it. I feel like it gives a little more natural, like sun-kissed look. And that was actually like a pro tip that I learned when I was taking, when I took a makeup class. Okay, so then I just do a little bit of that. So I am able to utilize this whole palette. Now that's a trick, I think, if you have a highlighter or like a highlighter palette and there's a dark shade like this, try using it as a bronzer. Now, unless you're somebody that just does not like shimmery like face products, then obviously that wouldn't work for you. But if you do, that'll work as a bronzer. And then you're able, because I'm able to utilize this whole palette that way. So then it's not going to waste. So it's a good little tip. And then I'll just use the highlighter in here because I just take a little bit around like where my eyebrow is. And then right here. So you can see it's not a bad, it's more of a natural highlighter, but it's a good, it's definitely got a dip in it. I have used it a lot, so it's definitely it's a nice highlighter. And then we will use a little bit of the blush just because I have it out. Because I usually will take, and this is a pigmented blush, I have to dip in gently, and then I just do a little bit kind of in the temple, and then I'll take the excess down where we bronzed. Normally, again, I would blush my nose and my chin, but I'm not. That just gives me a little bit more color, but obviously, again, we're not doing your whole face, so that's it. And then I will do setting spray again. I'm going to use this Tarte one just because I have it. And then that's it, and we'll just let that dry for a second. Again, I switch up my setting sprays because I have a bunch. So the first one I like to use a glow one. So this is a Spackle Mist Prime Set and Refresh. But I like this like truffle one. This one's got a little bit of illumination in it, or like the Cover FX illuminating spray, or like Pixie has a good glow one. I usually like to go in with some sort of a glowy one first, and then I'll do like a regular spray at the end, just because I really like the glow. Okay, so then for primer, I'm going to use my Gerard Clean Canvas, and then I just use it out of the lid with my concealer brush, and we'll just do this. I'll just do this eye on camera. I don't know what I'm doing yet. I'm going to use a new palette, so we'll see here. So I'm just going to prime my one eye, and then I'll do my other eye off camera. That way we're not here for a million years. I have had some of you tell me that you like doing your makeup with me, which I think is awesome and really, really nice. So you may not bother you that we're here for a million years, so that at least might be a little helpful. I got a little much, so I'm just going to wipe off some of it on my towel here. That way it doesn't necessarily look like there's a line of concealer. Yeah, this stuff is very pigmented, and a little bit goes a long way. So sometimes I use too much. So the palette I'm going to use today is, this is the LA Girl Pro Mastery eyeshadow palette. A subscriber, Brenda, sent me this, and I haven't tried it yet. And it looked really pretty, so that's what we're going to use today. I haven't even taken the plastic off, so here's what the colors look like. Like, I love that there's some like mustardy neutrals in here, and then the mauves. We're going to use the mauves today, probably. I can get this off. There it goes. I was leaving the plastic on until I used it, just in case I didn't get to it. Oh, and it does, that's a little bit annoying. The shade names are on there, so I'm not going to keep this just because it's a sticky one. Maybe I will. I don't know. That's going to get annoying and gross. So I'm just not going to know what the colors are called. So we'll just have to point. That's all right. But yeah, I left the plastic on just in case I didn't get to it. That way, if it was brand new, I could pass it along to somebody else. But we're going to use it. It looks pretty. So let's see here. My brushes are dirty, but let's use, I have my color switch out, so we'll use that. Let me see here. Just gonna try and pull a few out. And then I need a small blending brush. We'll try that, and then if I need to go into the other side, we can go into the other side. So I'm going to start off. I need to clean all of my brushes. It's been long overdue. I bought one of those like brush cleaning things off of Amazon where you put the liquid and the solution in the container and then it like spins the brushes, but I haven't tried it yet. It's been sitting in my bathroom for a month. Okay, so we're going to go in I'm going to start off with this darkest mauve shade. Like I said, we don't know what they're called because the names were on the, and that's not really one you could save because like I said, it's sticky. So that is the only annoying thing about that. I like LA Girl. I haven't tried a ton of stuff from them. I've heard their foundation. They have a foundation that was really like blew up like 2 years ago. I never got around to trying it, but it's one of those brands where my Ulta is very small and they don't carry a lot from them. So if I want to try a lot, I have to go on like Ulta's website or go through LA Girl specifically, because I do have one of their concealers in a darker shade for contouring, but I had to order it off of Ulta's website. So that's hard because you're never quite sure if it's the right shade. So I just cleaned my brush off and I'm just gonna try and blend this out a little bit. I don't have a ton of drugstore palettes, so I was really appreciative that Brenda sent this to me because I was curious about this brand. I have said in videos I'm kind of an eyeshadow snob, so most of my eyeshadow would be considered higher end. I just don't have a ton of drugstore. There's been some Wet n Wild palettes that I bought and then I've ended up decluttering because I just don't reach for them because the ones that I bought just were not as good. Like there's a dupe for the Modern Renaissance and I thought about buying it and trying it, but I have the Modern Renaissance palettes. I'm like, I don't need 2 palettes with the same color story when I know the ABH one's going to be better. Like even if the Wet n Wild one's good, if I've got 2 with the same color story, I'm going to probably use it. So I stopped buying palettes like for comparison for that reason because it's just wasteful. So I'm going to go into the shade. I'm not going to hold it up each time because this isn't necessarily a tutorial, but the next shade over from it. If you guys like the look that I do and want like a full-on tutorial, I definitely could do that. I just want to try this palette out. I would say that drugstore palettes, to give them their best shot, is better to go in with like a wet base like this. In the Gerard Clean Canvas is basically a concealer, so I would recommend using concealer. Because that's what I do with my ColourPop palettes. Those are probably the most like drugstore palettes that I have, but I do use them with a wetter base. So I'm just going in again with another lighter shade. I like the colors in this palette, so I was really happy with the one that she sent me because these are, I don't have a bunch of drugstore eyeshadow palettes. Like I said, ColourPop's probably what I have the most of. And for a long time, ColourPop, I wouldn't even consider them drugstore because you had to buy them through ColourPop, but now they're at Ulta. Some of their stuff is at Ulta, so I would say it's a little more the drugstore. And then Juvia's Place is on the drugstore side, I think, because their palettes are a little more affordable. And some of their stuff is at Ulta, so that I think helps exponentially. So I do have quite a few Juvia's Place and ColourPop if you consider those drugstore, but so I'm just going in with the cream shade just to soften. And then I don't know if this would be a good brow bone. It's like a pretty rose gold. I'm going to go in, there's not like a good brow bone highlight, which that happens a lot. So I'm just going to use my little balm palette. This one's got my favorite brow bone highlight. I have a lot of palettes that don't. I like a cream shimmery shade for brow bone highlight. So if a palette doesn't have that, then this is the one that I use, which again is not, doesn't bother me. I have lots of palettes that don't have a good brow bone shade for me just because I like a shimmery, creamy, like cream colored shade. So I'm going to go in with a little bit of the brown just in this corner down here. I'm going to see if that'll, doesn't necessarily need to be super dark, but we'll see what that does. That's pretty. I like this palette so far. I haven't had any issues blending, building it up. And again, I did use it with a wet base. I didn't set. And I used the same brush the whole time. I got out some other brushes and I didn't end up needing them. So I'm going to go in with some of the NYX glitter glue on a little flat brush. I was thinking about cutting out the crease, but it's pretty clean still, so I don't think it's necessary to put more concealer on. I need to buy, like, this tube is still pretty full, but I'm pretty sure I've had this tube for 2 years. I probably need to think about buying a new one. I should probably do it at Christmas time when they have like the sets with the glitter, because I do like glitter, so I might as well just get it as a set. So I probably need to do that this Christmas and just get a new one. I've been trying to use this one up, but I use such a small amount, even though I use it every day, that I've had that tube for, like I said, forever. So even though it's like $10 or $12 or whatever it is, I've had it for 2 years. So if you break down the cost per day, it's not costing me that much. So we're going to go in with that rose gold shade that I stuck my finger in. And then I think I might use a little bit of this shade. And then I think I might use this one on the lower lash line. So we'll do that. I think that'll be pretty. And I'm just using my flat little Morphe M170-2. This is generally, I probably picked up too much. I was really rubbing my brush in there. I don't think I needed that much. There's a little bit of fallout from the shimmer. Some of that's because I rubbed my brush in too much. This is definitely more pigmented than I was anticipating, so you don't need that much. So that was my fault. And then we're going to go in to the shade just diagonally from it. We'll see if there's... That shade looks very similar on the lid. So we're going to go in with one more. There's one down here in the lower corner. I'm going to try out. That's got a little bit more depth. I like to go a little bit darker towards the edge just because it helps me blend in. So we got 3 shades there. So I'll have to remember that when I do the other eye so that it matches. Okay. And then maybe a little, just a tiny little bit of this one. Just here. So I used 4 shimmers. I'll have to remember what colors I used. Okay, that's pretty. Those shimmers are really, really nice. Let me get my little fluffy brush. Fallout, especially with the shimmers, because my face is glowy. I don't know. I usually just use a big fluffy brush. I don't put any extra powder down because it makes my under eyes look crepey. So I just, and because I'm a little bit like on the glowier side, it doesn't bother me if there's a little bit of extra shimmer, but one of the only palettes that really like has glitter that sticks would be the Blue Blood. There's a dark blue chunky glitter in there that will stick to your foundation. That's one of the only ones that I can think of offhand that I would consider doing my base first. Okay, so we're going to go in with just the shimmer. It's right below the khaki color, the matte khaki color. Sometimes I'll go in with a matte first, but that just creates another like powder layer, and the shimmers will stick better if it's not super set. So because I do set my under eye, because this is a drugstore palette, I think the less powder the better. So I'm just going straight in with the shimmer, if that makes sense. But sometimes I'll do a matte color and then put the shimmer on top. And then I'm just going to go in with the one in the top corner that we used on the top just below to help. And this is, I don't even know, this is a Moda brush. It came in a set. I don't even know what, it doesn't have a name on it. It came in a BoxyCharm, I believe. So I like a shimmery lower lash line. So I always like when there is a darker shimmer that kind of correlates with what I've used in the crease. But that's just because that's how I like to do my eyes. And then I think in the inner corner, I'm going to use the same shade that we put on most of the lid. And then I'll just put a little bit of the color that I used to highlight my brow bone just on top of it, just to brighten it up just a little bit. And if you don't, like, you could also use like whatever color you used as a highlighter, and it just lightens it up just a tad. Okay, I'm gonna try and replicate what I did on the other side, and I will put liner and stuff on, and then I'll just show you everything. So I finished my eyes, like the eye makeup. I haven't done liner, mascara, or lashes yet, but I just figured I would come on and I'll talk about the palette a little bit, and then we'll be done, and then I'll do that off camera. You'll see it in the intro, but I'm not sure what lashes I'm going to use yet. And I do like this palette a lot. Let me know if you've tried any others from LA Girl. I would say the only gripe is that these two shades, while they look different in the pan, look very similar on the eye, but that's not a big deal because all of my little Huda palettes have at least two like similar shades. It is nice that you have like this brown, like this khaki color, and then the cream. So you definitely could do a neutral look with like some of the bronzy shades that are in here and the gold. So I definitely could see traveling with this. I am going to keep it. I do really like it. And again, let me know, because I know they have a few others, if any of the other ones from their Pro Mastery line are good. Because yeah, I really like the shimmers. I think are just as good as the ones in my Huda palette. And like I said, it's not a huge deal that there's two shades that are kind of overlapping, just because a lot of my palettes have that, especially with the shimmers. So I really like this. And yeah, thank you guys so much for sitting with me. This is gonna be a longer video, so I apologize. And yeah, hope everybody is doing well. I haven't sat down and talked for a while, so I just figured I would do that. But yeah, thank you guys so much for sitting and getting ready with me. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Hopefully I will see you in another video very soon. Bye everybody.